Hi everyone. So I've been doing some research on autism and I came across this really great testimonial that I'd like to share with you. It's called Autism Reversed with Virgin Coconut Oil. However, this is not medical advice, this is just for educational purposes only. So the lady's name is Rosemarie. She lives in the Philippines. Her son was diagnosed with autism in March 13th, 2002. He was 1 week away from his 4th birthday and he was completely non-verbal. He was very, very hyperactive, and if he got outside the home, they would have to go and find him because he didn't know how to come home. He didn't know where he lived. He would go over to the neighbour's house and somehow slip in and just get in there and just trash the place. And he had no fear of danger. He wouldn't indicate if he was hungry. He never played with other kids, but if he did come across kids, he was very, very aggressive towards them. And she basically couldn't take him out in public because he was so disruptive. So she said despite behavioural therapy, he showed little progress. And then she found the Prime Centre Foundation with a Dr. Roni Okabillo. The founder of this special school introduced her to a gluten-free and casein-free diet. His approach was supported by studies that demonstrated that certain foods seem to affect the developing brains of some children with autism. This is not because of allergens, but because many of these children are unable to properly break down certain proteins. So researchers in England, Norway and the USA have found peptides with opiate activity in the urine of a large percentage of autistic children. Opiates have drug-like effects that alter brain function. The two main offenders seem to be the gluten and the casein, which is a milk protein. Some researchers believe that in certain children, these foods have a drug-like effect on their brains, causing autistic behaviour. He told me that autism seems to be an immune system dysfunction. Leaky gut syndrome also appears to be involved. The leaky gut permits undigested proteins from gluten and casein to pass through the intestinal wall, which then goes into the bloodstream. The bloodstream then transports them up into the brain, where they disrupt normal brain function. Candida and other yeasts live in our bodies in small amounts. It is believed that in individuals with improperly functioning immune systems, Candida can flourish. Some of the symptoms of Candida overgrowth in children is headaches, hyperactivity, sugar cravings, and behaviour and learning problems. So Candida also may in part be responsible for autistic behaviour. So at the age of 4, her son began his special school and they got rid of all the nasty foods, got rid of all the bad foods, and nystatin was given to him to control the Candida and aid in the building of his digestive tract. The program seemed to be working. His hyperactivity lessened, he could focus more and could talk a little with some sense. When I asked, "What are you doing, Homer?" he could answer, "Safeguard wash." So after following the special diet for 10 months, she felt her son was really, really improving. And he would socialise with other kids really well. His behaviour improved. He could read and write a little. Unfortunately, not long after that, he developed pneumonia, so he had to go into hospital, which was a bit of a nightmare, basically, because he just went straight back to square one. During his stay, the doctors and nurses had a really hard time putting in his IV, because obviously he needed antibiotics. He would take his medicines orally because he didn't like the taste. She said it was a real struggle for me at the hospital to take care of him. He got all of his medicines, mostly antibiotics, through his IV. He didn't want to eat. He was asking for all his favourite foods. And it was a bit of a nightmare, basically. So when he went back to his school, they were all quite upset to see that basically all the good work that they had done before, he'd just gone back to square one. He was very, very hyperactive again, and said we had to start all over. So the doctor told them that the antibiotics not only killed the bacteria that was causing the pneumonia, but it also killed the good bacteria that was in his gut. So she said once again she was really upset and really depressed, but then she said that the answer came from an unlikely source, which she said is your virgin coconut oil. I had heard how coconut oil could be used to strengthen the immune system, prevent illness and improve health. I began to take it daily by the spoonful as it's a dietary supplement. I observed that my overall health improved, including my asthma. I thought it might help Homer by building up his immune system. He didn't want to take the oil, obviously, but she got him to take it eventually. And she said sometimes it was once a day. She said, and then sometimes it was up to 3 times a day. She said after 2 months, she noticed a dramatic improvement in his behaviour and especially in his speech. Up until then, he had only been able to understand and speak a little English. Now, not only was his English improving, but for the first time, he was beginning to speak their native language, which is Cebuano. She said he is now 7 years old and all his autistic characteristics have gone. He can read very well and write clearly. He can tell stories and express his feelings and ideas and has plenty of friends. He asks permission when going into the neighbours' houses now, and he knows how to get home. So finally, she said, I shared my knowledge of coconut oil with the doctor at Prime, and at first he was a little bit sceptical. So she said she gave him some articles to read, and she also gave him one of Dr. Bruce Fife's books called The Coconut Oil Miracle, which I will be getting. Among other things, in the book, Dr. Fife describes, among other things, the antifungal properties of coconut oil. She said, that's when I realised that coconut oil killed the candida in my son's intestines. Originally, my only purpose in giving Homer the oil was to improve his immune system. I never realised that his autism would be gone with the help of coconut oil. Mr. Ocopillo researched coconut oil further, and now all the children at the Prime Centre are actually taking coconut oil, and it has replaced the antifungal drug nystatin that they formerly used. So how about that? I think that's really exciting.